Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Mars, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Let me first say, I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. And if you're not having a wonderful Saturday, there's still some time left in the day. Hopefully, you can pick it up. That's number one. Number two is we are enjoying the last Saturday before we head into Ramadan. And I just want to give a shout out to people who already sent out some well wishes. Have a blessed Ramadan to you too. And again, I really, really hope that everybody's just in their place, just in their place, even if you don't take part in Ramadan, just observe the aspect of service and the aspect of service for your Lord, and really service that takes away a lot of distractions and helps you focus on a lot of the important things. It's sort of like a spiritual stripping down of some things. And I have to say, my early years of Ramadan, they weren't too prolific, if you will. I struggled, because I was doing more so the mechanics of Ramadan. I wasn't fasting, I was starving. I wasn't doing out water, I was just thirsty, and a whole lot of other things. I was literally waiting for the sun to go down. And then one Ramadan, it really kicked in on me, and I really began to understand what the implications was for this. And it really just opened up my scope of how I wanted to live my life and how I want to see my family and my friends and things like that. Literally, how you want to serve creation. So before we get into that, I want to welcome everybody. I see we have one of our lost sheep has come back. That'd be you, Sister Santiago. I'm messing with you. I really want to thank everybody. If you're coming on the show for the first time, thank you for coming on. You don't have to be here, but we really appreciate you spending that time, whatever it is, 1 minute, 2 minutes, or the whole show. We'll be doing some different things during Ramadan. Because we will be re-implementing the Preacher Miles Ramadan 30 for 30. Again, that's the Preacher Miles Ramadan 30 for 30. We're a little behind on the advertising, but everybody knows what the 30 for 30 is. And I just want to make sure that I let you know that our two sponsors for the Ramadan 30 for 30 are, of course, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com, number one, and number two, Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Again, that's Bayan Islamic Graduate School, where yours truly is graduating. And before we even get into that, people, if you're on the show for the first time, get in the comment section, enjoy yourself, sit down, and sit down and enjoy yourself. Because this is the thing. I want to give a shout out to the family. I can tell you that this person that did this, she represented also for the Shout Out Show family. That'd be my mom. My mom went through the trouble of sending this. She couldn't resist. It says, "Congratulations, Mr. Master's degree, Brian Preacher Moss. Congratulations on your stupendous achievement. Proudly, the family." So I know she had been waiting for me to tell her that I got it. Well, now guess what, Mom? I'm telling you on the show, I got it. I love you. I appreciate you, and that is for all the family, the Danville family, the DC family, and of course the Shout Out Show family. A lot of people don't understand sometimes that when you go through things in life, there are levels to how you are able to establish yourself. And sometimes you have to understand that. Hold on just a moment, everybody. Just hold on just a moment. I apologize. All right, I'm back. You know what that was, brothers and sisters? That was a brother who thought his computer was plugged in and he was about to go off the air for real. Remember, you know what they say when you assume? When you assume, you make a out of you and me. So, just want to get in that. And like I said, if anybody's coming on the show for the first time, we do have opportunities like that where we can talk about family, we can celebrate. And I want everybody to know that this master's degree in Islamic education is not my victory, it's everybody's victory. Everybody made dua for me, everybody made me a meal. And when I was too busy to go out and study and working on my thesis, everybody that prayed for me, everybody that wished me well, everybody that just asked, how's those classes going? I appreciate it. And those are the things that keep you humble and they keep you grateful, if you will. So if you're coming on the show for the first time, I'm going to be talking about being humble. I'm going to talk about being thankful and grateful. I'm going to talk about how I appreciate people. So if you want to know why, yep, Ramadan's here. So I figured I would get into the mode early, because part of Ramadan, if you will, is acknowledgement. So let me acknowledge my stars in the building. Let's bring them up. That's right, my mom. This is who I spent my first Ramadan with, my mother. Mary Moss and Clifford Moss at the time, and so many other people who didn't really know what Ramadan was. I think they all thought I was on heroin or crack because I lost a lot of weight that that year. And I remember because I worked two jobs, and I didn't know about iftar, so I was breaking iftar with a Snickers and a Tahiti treat in a bottle of water. Well, they didn't really have bottled water back then. I just would get it from the water fountain, but it was quite a thing. And it did take me to some places spiritually. Your first Ramadan, or in case my first Ramadan, did take me to some places. So, Mom, thanks again and appreciate you. Lovely plaque. And it will be going on my wall someplace. But I appreciate it. I got it today and it was nice. And I actually put a battery in it so the clock worked. So, alhamdulillah. All right. Let's go ahead. We got Sister Ree, who is the craft services, the food director for the Shout Out Show. Thank you so much, Sister Ree. That salad yesterday hit the spot, and I'm here to tell you, as soon as it hit the spot, I hit the bed. You hear what I'm saying? I think you had sprinkled some, yeah, I don't know if that was salad dressing or Robitussin because I went to sleep right away. And my chest didn't have as much fluid. Thank you. I'm gonna give a shout out next. Brother Derek, how you doing, Brother Derek? Thank you so much for coming on the show, holding it down, cutting that hair, just trying to make it work, man. From one grinder to another grinder, man. We appreciate what you're doing, so keep it moving. All right, and Sister Santiago, who has been in Tennessee for quite a while. She's just letting everybody know that she's back. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I did read your comment. We're going to make the dua for you and your family. Please give us your auntie's name, just so anyone else wants to pray for her auntie. Auntie has cancer. We don't know what stage it is, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what stage it is. We're going to pray for her. So send us her name. So, I don't like to throw out duas with no name on it. I want to say this is who it's for and this is why we're praying. All right. Give a shout out to my main man, the ambassador, the Canadian ambassador, the envoy from Canada who gets it every day. My main man, Altaf Rashid. Altaf, brother, thank you so much for coming on the show. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm wishing everybody in advance to have an amazing Ramadan, especially you, my brother, up in Canada holding it down. I know they have some issues with the variant up there. So we're gonna definitely, be careful with fasting and that variant being around. So be real careful, all right? And we're gonna give a shout out, of course, to Sister Sultana, the consultant producer who is now the production manager, making things work. Wow, alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Making things work, making it easier for me so I can do what I do and I can be creative. But I always say there's no show without Sister Sultana. I'm gonna tell you why. It's not so much about the production. I can do the production. But it's everything outside of the production, making sure that we have a core of ideas, making sure that things are taken care of, making sure that we're able to get things moving and we're able to share things. And I really, really enjoy that. I really, really enjoy it. And she makes things easier for me. So shout out to Sister Sultana. Who else we got? Okay. Aunt Debbie is okay. We're gonna give a shout out and make the wall for Aunt Debbie, who's at the end stages. We don't know. You never know when Allah's gonna come take you. So we just gonna pray. Uh and we if it's at the end, we just pray that she doesn't have a lot of pain and she's with her family and in her heart things are resolved and she can leave peacefully. All right? All right. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Sister Santiago. I appreciate it. I know you stayed on me about school, and I appreciate that. So, because there's some days I didn't want to do it, but I did it, and I feel better for it as a person. I feel better for it as a believer. Sometimes you got to go through stuff, and to get this master's, I went through some stuff, but it's nothing new. I'm not going to say it was tough or difficult. It was tough and difficult, but it wasn't impossible. So sometimes I'm like, if it's not impossible, it's doable. You know what I mean? So we're gonna make this happen. Thank you so much, Sister Sultana. This is a great plaque. I should have taken a picture of it. I think I'm gonna. Would you mind, Sister Sultana, if I took a picture of it and we put it up on my Instagram? I haven't been on my Instagram for quite a while, so if I could delegate that to you and tell people I got a master's degree in Islamic education, I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of laughs uh, directed my way, but I don't care. It's all right. I decided to make this pathway, and I have no regrets. Okay, who else we got? We're gonna pray for Sister Debbie for sure. We're gonna make that. Oh, the feta cheese. I don't know, but and I'm gonna tell you something too. Reed, you told me that those were blueberries in the salad. I was so tired yesterday. I thought they were olives, and I don't like black olives, so I had them all in one part of the salad. And then it hit me. I said, Reese said these doggone things were blueberries. And I only had like a thimble left for salad. So I had to pour them back in. You know, you're trying to match up salad with blueberries. It was pretty funny though. You gotta laugh. I gotta laugh out of it. And there you go. There you go. We're getting those prayers out to Sister Debbie. Sister Debbie, we hope that, you ease your pain and suffering. And pray for us too. Pray for us. All right. At least I told you the truth, Reed, Derek. I told you the truth. I ain't got nothing to hide. I forgot, but I ate. But there's no DNA left of those blueberries. That's gone. All right. So here we go. Thank you, Sultan. We're gonna get that cracking. Let's talk about Ramadan. I said, "Yep, Ramadan is here," and it's so funny. You can tell when Ramadan is here because like all the Muslims stop trying to drink coffee in 2 days. So you got a legion of Muslims that have been drinking coffee all year and now try to quit. They are in withdrawals, like they've been shooting heroin for 30 years. They're just like, I'm not going to make it, going past Starbucks and sweating. You know what? Here's the thing about Ramadan that I do like. Ramadan is one of the few things in the Muslim tradition that have a natural protocol for a sense of urgency. Let me say it again. It has a natural protocol for a sense of urgency. You are now looking at when you're eating, what you're eating. You're also looking at when you prepare food. You're looking at when you go to sleep. You're looking at when you pray. You're looking at when you go to the masjid. And it's interesting because, outside of the scope of Ramadan, we really don't think that way. The whole idea of the getting in extra prayers, reading your Quran and things like that, they don't have that sense of urgency. The other Eid, we don't really get into that. But this, not this Eid, but you know what I'm talking about. But for this, people buckle down, man. People buckle down. And I've been fortunate to be able to fast a lot of years. Um, most of my years. There was only one time I had to break a fast, and I think that was the anniversary of the March on Washington. I had 2 ear infections. So you figure by that time I've been Muslim like I don't know, 20 years, something like that. But I couldn't do it. But other than that, alhamdulillah, man, I've been healthy enough never to miss a fast. And fasting for me has always been funny because I travel. So one of my first Ramadans, this is when you don't know how to fast. This is when you can look back and go, I don't even know how I made it. I remember I was so concerned about eating. I was so concerned about eating that I would actually buy a newspaper. I was an outreach worker for Fairfax County. I was an outreach worker, and I'd be in the field, and I wouldn't start till like 2, 3 in the afternoon. You work up, you work late, like you go in the office at 12 or 1, and you'd be working late to like 9 or 10. Then I had to drive all the way home to DC. I'm here to tell you, man, I was so bad at fasting. And I'm gonna throw this in too, because I was doing the late night stuff. I didn't go to the masjid. So here I am, basically this new Muslim. I'm fasting, have no idea. All I heard was no relations, no physical relations, no food, no drink, and uh, you have to watch your tongue. You have to watch your tongue. No cursing during Ramadan because that could invalidate your fast. And I took those things to heart, man. I took those things to heart. And it was hilarious. This is several years ago, but I remember having to fast, and I was doing poorly at it. I was doing poorly. Now, when you're doing poorly at fasting, here's the thing that happens: so you become very self-conscious. You don't want to actually tell people that you're doing a lousy job fasting. You know what I'm saying? Because you see people, you'll see guys who are like 70 years old, they're strong with their fasting. I was in my 20s and I was horrible. Like literally, the worst thing you want to do when you are fasting is wake up at the part of the day and the sun has woke you up. The sun is all in your face, pulsating like you can't drink, you can't eat, you miss Fajr, you gonna be thirsty. Get up and go to work. And that was the feeling, man, until it was very mechanical. I want to say my relationship with Ramadan early on was very transactional. It was like, I'm gonna give you what you need, and then I'm gonna get what I need. And it was so it was funny because you learn from those situations. One of my favorite Ramadan stories, early fasting. Here I am, brothers and sisters. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. And I'm addicted to looking in the newspaper to find out exactly the time that the sun went down. I'm not talking about looking out a window or something. I would look in the newspaper, sunrise, sunset. I would buy a paper for 25 cents to find out when sun set. And there was this one time I was doing good, brothers and sisters. I was doing excellent, trying to figure out when the sun set. And I was fasting and I was struggling. And I was in the field with this job as an outreach worker. I was so bad, brothers and sisters. I would time when the sun would go down. I would be timing it to when I was in line at Burger King to buy food to break my fast. Literally, I'd be like, you can go ahead in front of me. I got a minute. And I got 2 minutes. Go ahead, man. No, I'm just going to sit over here. Can I help you? No, I got about 2 minutes. You can help me in 2 minutes. I would literally be in line. And, that was my iftar. You're breaking your fast by yourself. And when you couldn't do it at Burger King or something like that, mention Burger King, it wasn't halal. You break it with a Snickers or a Three Musketeer and a Coke. That's what it is. You're young. You're not thinking about it. You just keep. There was this one time, this 1 week, I said, I'm going to dedicate myself to fasting and be strong with it. That's what I'm saying. I want to be strong with my fasting. And I started on that Monday and that Tuesday and that Wednesday and that Thursday and that Friday and that Saturday and Sunday. And I was like, well, that Saturday, I was like, yeah, I'm doing good. And then this particular Sunday, there I was at Burger King, had bought my food, had figured out all the times that the sun would go down, and I bought like a fish sandwich, 2 large fries. I bought a Coke as big as me. I sat down, and I'm getting ready to go to town on this. You hear what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to go to town, and I pull a burger up to my face, and I look over, brothers and sisters, and the sun is as high as it could be. And I'm like, what? Listen, this is how disillusioned I am. I literally said, what is wrong with the sun? Why is the sun tripping? I realized why the sun was tripping. Because I forgot it was daylight savings time. I had a whole nother hour and 5 minutes left. And now I'm here to tell you that I sat there in front of that food and I cried. I was emotional because it hurt, brothers and sisters, just to sit there and watch the food get cold, trying my best to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. But you learn, you have to laugh, then I travel, so you learn stages of Ramadan, and I learned about iftar and things like that. I remember I was on the road. I think it was my friend Owen and I. We were on the no, it wasn't Owen. I was on the road somewhere in the Midwest. And Shiraz, welcome to the show. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Inshallah, it'll be easy on all of us. You know what? Alhamdulillah, I'm happy it's here. Shiraz, does this ever happen to you? Anybody in the box can chime in here. I wasn't born Muslim, you know that. I remember telling my grandmother about Ramadan, and she's like, "What is Ramadan?" Because she fixed all this food. She always did spaghetti Thursday, and so Thursday I would try and get for my job and eat spaghetti. That was my thing with my grandmother. Till she started suffering Alzheimer's. But we would have spaghetti Thursday. And this one time, I'm like, Grandma, I can't have the spaghetti. She's like, why? I was like, because I'm fasting. She's like, well, why are you trying to be so fast? I was like, no, Grandma, I'm fasting. She didn't understand the concept. And I was like, well, Grandma, I'm a Muslim now. And she said, you mean like Cassius Clay? I said, okay, fine. I said, I'm a Muslim now. She said, what is this? I said, I'm doing Ramadan. She said, Rama who? That's how Grandma started. Rama who? I said, I'm doing Ramadan, Grandma. She said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, for Ramadan, no sexual relations, no food, no water, no cussing. And she said, no chance, you ain't gonna make it. And she said, really? I said, yeah, Grandma, I can't eat till the sun goes down. And she made me laugh. She said, you don't sound like a Muslim, you sound like a Muslim vampire. I said, yeah, Grandma, something like that. But then you go to iftar. I don't know. We have to go to iftars. It's funny we can go in your community because you know where the good community iftars are. Sometimes when you're traveling, every once in a while you're going to hit one of them really bare bone iftars. I was on the road. I looked at the clock and see the sun going down. I'm like, I can get to this masjid. I saw a Muslim brother at the gas station. He said, brother, I got the place for you. I said, really? He said, you go down this road. I said, you're not going to come with me? He said, no, I'm going to break fast with my family. I was so like, why can't I break fast with your family too? He sent me to this masjid. And I got there and it wasn't a whole lot of people there. I walked into the masjid. I'm sitting there. Everybody's, you know, I'm like, hey, brother, I'm new. I don't know anybody. Because I'm cool. I'm traveling. I'm like, brother, I'm new. I don't know anybody. And there's a Pakistani brother. And I'm a new Muslim. So imagine how this looks. It's a Pakistani brother. He walked up to me. I told him I was there for iftar. This brother gave me a date and just walked off. And I'm like, this is it. I'm like, yeah. If this is all I'm gonna eat, I ain't gonna make it. I'm like, Muslims got to step it up. I mean, come on, man. Jesus had the Last Supper. What's going on here? So eventually the guy came back and we had a meal, but it was hilarious. And even with the iftars, it's good to break bread with your brothers and sisters. It's good to have that fellowship. But you know what? Sometimes the iftars can be a little overboard. How many people have gone to iftar and they look like the buffet at Golden Corral? Like a halal buffet, halal Golden Corral buffet. Like, yeah, you're supposed to break fast, but you are not supposed to clog up all your arteries. You're supposed to show some level of discipline. And I'm telling you, folks, you can tell the level of food that's been eaten at a masjid because you fast all day and your sugar's low, and someone gives you food, and then you eat too much food, and then you could barely make it to Isha. I can't tell you how many times I heard people burp and go while we trying to pray. I was like, that is horrible. But my point is, that in and of itself brings to mind this point right here. That really you're going to have so many people throughout the world with this really single-minded focus of, I want to please my Lord. I want to say thank you for all the other months that even I said thank you for all the other months where you didn't have to be there for me. You were there for me, or you're there for my family, or you're there for my children, or you gave me some enlightenment, or you gave me some encouragement or inspiration to get through a tough time. A lot of times, we're not thinking that. And when you have that collective, it's a powerful thing. When you literally think that in your little space, wherever you are, in California, in New York, or wherever, you can believe that in some little village in Africa, that there is a little group of Muslims who are doing the same thing as you. And that's the unifying factor, is that for whatever that time is, from sun up to sundown, we're all doing the same thing, inshallah. We're all doing the same thing. We're all having the same struggles. We're all denying ourselves what are supposed to be natural desires, natural rights, eating, drinking, relation, all that, but we are denying ourselves. You know, and I really, really, really appreciate that. There's a I don't even know if he's there anymore. But the guy I had the fortune, I had the pleasure of breaking bread with during one Ramadan. There's a guy who lived over in Adams Morgan outside of Washington, D.C. And he was homeless. And I was waiting for a friend of mine. His name is Mark Canady. I was waiting for Mark Canady to come. Mark was late. And this guy came in and he was asking for his money. You've heard this story before. And I bought him two big pieces of pizza. It's this shop. The pizza was ridiculously long. It was like this big. You had to put it on two plates. I bought him pizza and I bought him a soda. And I I meant for him to, yes, eat, but I just thought it'd be funny to see the look on his face at the size of that pizza, at the size of the pizza. Don't hate on me. I'm crazy like that. And we struck up a conversation. And I want to say that he did me a favor by giving me a conversation. I did not do him a favor by giving him a conversation. He did me a favor by giving me a conversation and began to actually talk about, what was going on in his life. And, when you see somebody and they're going through a tough time, he goes, how was your day? How was your day? And in the midst of this conversation, he goes, you don't have any pizza. And I said, well, I'm waiting for my friend. I don't have any pizza, but look, he says, no. Why don't you have any pizza? And I start telling him about Ramadan and, all of that. And he takes his pizza and he puts his napkins on top of his pizza. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, I'm not going to eat till you eat. And he waited for me to have iftar. That's how special it is. All right, we got some comments here. Alto said, I went to an iftar at one masjid and stayed for Taraweeh. After 4 rakats, they took a break and continued with the food from the iftar. And then after 50 minutes, got up for the rest. Man, it happens like that. Yeah. I'm going to try and move around. A lot of the masjids in the area are still closed. So I don't know what Taraweeh is going to look like this year. I don't know if we have enough bandwidth, if you will, to open up the masjids. I would say no. And I would err on the side of caution that Taraweeh is going to be at home again this year. Mary Moss, blessings to over 1 billion Muslims and to you and Sultana. Thank you. Well, you got to throw it out to Altaf, and you got to throw it out to Sharad. We'll throw it out to Sister Christina. And so mom is telling all you Muslims, hey, Ramadan Mubarak. My mom will tell me Ramadan Mubarak too. And it's so funny because, my mom has seen me do quite another number of Ramadans and fast outside of Ramadan. But she's always so supportive because she knows when the sun goes down. Because I do have a very nasty habit sometimes that I'll break fast, kind of, but I don't really. Like I might have some water, but then I'll go to sleep. And thank goodness my mom wakes me up like, hey, yo, get up and get something to eat. What you got for me, Shiraz? Exactly. When you're eating too much, you won't be able to pray, even enjoy the rest of the night. That's why Prophet, peace upon him. That's why the Prophet, peace be upon him, asks us to start with dates, pray, then eat. That's why yeah. And it's funny, when I was in the field working as an outreach worker, I didn't know the proclamation or the advising of Prophet Muhammad about eating, but I would not eat a lot because number one, I still had to work with clients. And number two, this is real. Number two, because I was working way out in Virginia, at least a 50-minute ride from where I was living in Maryland, I was afraid to eat too much because I didn't want to get too sleepy. That just tells you, man, things are working in a particular design. But I want to tell everybody, please, and Mom, I want you to have a good Ramadan too. JT's not on the show today, but JT is going to he's going to do the first 5 to 10 days of Ramadan with me. Okay, this is something we've been doing for years. So I think he's going to do the first week and a half of Ramadan with me. So I'm looking forward to that. I also, inshallah, tomorrow I'm going to get us some more information on the Muhammad Ali documentary podcast that I'm on, the Universal Truth, because that's going to be coming out this week, and I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to get on and listen. I'm very proud of the work. Big shout out to Sister Precious, Maggie Van Dorn, Aaron Lobo. We have so many people on this thing. Celebrating how beautiful is it that you're going to come out with a podcast about the greatest during Ramadan. So I'm really happy about that, and I might even bring the trailer up and we can listen to the trailer. We're all family, and maybe that's what we'll do for potluck. I might talk about the Muhammad Ali documentary on potluck tomorrow. Why not? Because this is my show. Actually, it's our show. So listen, it's we're over. I can't, I have to have a talk with my consultant producer, because it just seems like when we get involved, that 30 minutes goes just like that. I mean, it goes just like that. So I think during Ramadan, we're going to extend maybe 10 minutes, because we're going to be having these kind of conversations. And I hope you guys don't mind. I do have a little bit of a relationship with the Quran and a little bit of relationship with Hadith, living this life. Not just living his life, but trying to help others understand how beautiful this life is. I'm not trying to save lives. I've done that before, but trying to help people understand how beautiful life is, which is really a process about how you save lives. So I'm going to make sure that we get on that as well. So let me give a shout out for our sponsors. Our consistent sponsor, Ms. Maxine Cade, attorney Maxine BK Esquire. Go to her site. That's www.befinanciallyindependent.com. Again, that's www.befinanciallyindependent.com. Why? You work hard for your money. Get the information so you can make your money work hard for you. If you don't want to go to the website, you can call old school 1-800-679-3175. Again, that's 1-800-679-3175. And I don't have their paperwork right now. I don't have the trailers, but I want to give a shout out, everybody, to Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Again, that's Bayan Islamic Graduate School. If anyone here is interested in a degree in Islamic leadership or chaplaincy, or for me, Islamic education, Bayan enrolled with me. Let me say this: Bayan enrolled with me. I had some dips and valleys in my journey. I had some family things that happened, but you know what? I never felt like I wasn't supported. And let me throw this out: they have scholarships. I was a recipient of the Muhammad Ali Leadership Scholarship for 3 years. I started in 2018, and I'm graduating next month, inshallah. So we're going to be talking about Bayan, and we want to support these institutions. We want to support institutions that support us. We want to support BeFinanciallyIndependent.com, because they support a whole aspect of literacy, particularly amongst African Americans and Latinos and people of color. Okay, that is it for the show. I'm sorry I ran over, but you know what? When you have good conversation, that's what happens. When you have excellent people in the comment section, that's what happens. Everybody in the comment section, as we roll into Ramadan, do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to come on the show. Thank you, Shiraz. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Make the dua for me. I'm trying to do some good things for our community and education. A lot of y'all know I was a school teacher for about 11 years. And one of the things that got me out of teaching was I felt like people didn't have fresh ideas, and the lack of fresh ideas or the creativity deficit was hurting our children. So I'm back in the fight with this master's degree. So pray for me. I'm not saying I wind up back in the classroom. And if I do, please have me drug tested several times. But we're trying to make a difference. So listen, you guys have been lovely. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We're going to be ramping up for Ramadan. Preacher Monsters Ramadan 30 for 30. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have fun, fasting, enlightenment, and we're going to have community. All right, everybody, I'm out. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarif Attar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifattar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.